We're gonna do some stuff on our back, and I'm not gonna use a strap, but if you are a person who has like a strap nearby and want to have it nearby to grab, you certainly can. But we'll start even simpler than that. You can press play on whatever music you want, and as you're ready, we'll come to laying on the ground, soles of the feet on the earth, knees up into the air. Maybe think about tucking our shoulder blades together behind us and then letting ourselves relax into the ground. If holding your knees up is like work, depending on your body geometry, like sometimes letting them lean together will feel more comfortable. For me, it's more comfortable to have them straight up, but whatever is like a kind of restful position of laying on your backs is the right choice for here. Just letting ourselves calm down a little bit, quiet down, focus in on our stretching body. If your brain's really busy, bringing our attention to our breath is always a good choice. You can just watch it come in and out. You can try to control it a little bit with counting if that feels nice to you, or just generally slowing it down. Thinking about feeling our rib cage expand with our slow inhales and contract with our slow exhales. And then bringing our awareness slightly down our torso with our inhales and exhales. We'll add a little bit more purposeful, tiny movement. So with an inhale, feeling our belly expand. And then with an exhale, I want us to just press our low back into the earth slightly, and you'll maybe feel your tailbone begin to tuck underneath. So with an inhale, we'll find the natural curve of our spine, fully expanding our belly. Exhale, pulling our navel in, low back to the earth, slight tuck of the tailbone. Just gently rocking our pelvis back and forth. Inhaling, growing our belly big. Exhale, mid back into the earth, tucking tailbone. Now that we've sort of gotten the rhythm of this, we can over exaggerate a little bit more. So we're really arching our back off the earth for our inhales and really tucking our tailbone for our exhales. Maybe even tucking your tailbone to the point that our hips lift off the ground. If that feels okay to you, kind of butt squeeze, a little glute bridge there, not quite that far. Back and forth a few more times. All right, we can stop with that play with our breath and pelvis, but we're just going to think about our pelvic bowl itself. So we were tilting it back and forth. We can also try to tilt it side to side, maybe using our knees a little bit to go side to side so we can feel just rocking onto basically one butt cheek and then the other. And then we're gonna picture like our pelvic bowl's full of water and we're just gently sloshing it around. So I want us to tuck our tailbone under and then rock onto one butt cheek and then stick out our tailbone and then onto the other butt cheek and then tuck our tailbone under. This is a little heavy dippy for y'all. We can also just thinking about rolling around on our butt and our pelvis if that works for you. Just kind of spinning around. After we've spun around a few times on one side, sloshing around on the other direction, feeling that, all that motion in there. I don't know, I feel like in the winter, this area of our body is just like so covered in clothes and protectiveness that it doesn't get all of the wiggling around that it should get. Okay, good work, friends. We can let our pelvic bowl relax to neutral. Let's grab our right knee and hug it into our chest. Cool. Holding our right knee in place, we'll flex our right ankle and then point our right toes away. Flex the ankle, point the toes, flex the ankle, point the toes, flex the ankle, point the toes. And then we'll draw some big circles in the air with our right big toe. Go in one direction and then the other. And then with our right big toe, we'll write out our name in cursive. You can decide if it's just your first name or your whole name. Just working on wiggling around that ankle in a slightly different way. Cool. Okay, letting the ankle work though. This right knee, we're gonna hug it right in towards the center of our chest. So maybe a couple degrees over to the left of where it was. And then we'll hug the right knee in towards our right elbow. So maybe 10 degrees over to the right side of our body. And then squeezing back towards the center, hugging the right knee in towards the center of our body. Back over towards our armpit, 10 degrees out to the side. Then we'll bring our knee towards the center of our body, and we're going to keep pulling it all the way over to the left side for a full spinal twist. So I'm letting my left legs fall over to the left side too. Right knees crossed fully across me. Shoulders are trying to stay on the ground. Both of them. Maybe your right shoulder will lift off. Nice. And we'll pull ourselves back up to right knee into the center. Our left foot's on the ground. Yeah, cool. And then we'll open our right knee out farther to the right side of our space. Maybe not to the ground, but like letting it fall as open as it can to the right side, feeling that stretch on the inside of the right thigh. Yeah. Cool. And we'll bring our right knee into kind of a neutral position. So in line with the hip socket. Grabbing behind the knee, we're gonna open the knee and close it. Open the knee and close it. Open it and close it. And open it, and then we'll leave it open. So you can keep holding onto the thigh, or you can hold onto the calf, the ankle, the big toe. If you've got a strap that you like for this hamstring stretch, that's fine too. It doesn't have to be a perfectly straight locked out knee. Whatever feels like some work in the back of the leg, you might feel it in your hamstring, even the back of the knee, maybe in the calf, depending on where you're holding yourself. Wherever we are, we're letting our head relax into the ground. So I don't want this to be a crunching action. Just working our legs today here. Staying here maybe a little longer than we want to. It's good for us. We'll bring our hands to behind the right thigh and we'll squeeze that knee into our chest. But this time we're keeping our shin up towards the sky. So once we've got our knee pulled in tight to our chest here, we could change our grip to be ankle or foot. This is Happy Baby. If you know Happy Baby, it's just half of a Happy Baby. It's a mildly happy baby. You certainly could extend the left leg long here if you'd like to just be in an upside down lunge, or you can keep the left foot on the earth, knee up to the sky. Wherever our arms are, tugging our right knee down towards our chest as much as possible in this thing we're in. Yeah. Fun. here, we're gonna take our right ankle and cross it onto our left thigh, coming to a figure four position. So your figure four could be super relaxed, hanging out right here, or you can stick your right hand through the triangle you've made with your legs to grab your left thigh and hug that in towards your chest, or even grab your left shin. We can find stillness here, or maybe a little rocking side to side, usually over to the left side body. It gets kind of deeper into the butt for me. Still trying to let our head and neck, shoulders relax to the ground here, so we're not crunching. Just doing the work in our lower half. And from here, we'll let go of wherever we're grabbing, and then we're going to try to cross our right leg farther over our left leg, maybe so our knees are stacked on top of each other, thighs touching pretty close. We can grab our shins and squeeze these stacked knees in towards our chest, or just grab the knees, or you can slide your arms down your lower legs to grab your ankles, like we're holding the handlebars of a cruiser bike. Squeezing our knees in towards our chest, one way or the other in this eagle leg variation pose. Maybe rocking side to side, maybe finding stillness. Nice. All right, we'll uncross our legs, both soles of the feet to the earth. Our arms can be on the ground beside us. We're gonna inhale, fill our belly full of air. Exhale, push our mid back into the earth, tucking our tailbone. Then we're gonna lift our tailbone all the way up into the sky for our full glute bridge here. And then lowering it back down. Let's do a couple more of those. Inhaling our belly full, exhaling, pushing low back into the earth, lifting those hips up high, maybe a little higher. And then lowering it back down. One more time at your own pace. Pelvic bridge. Good job, team. Lowering our hips down. Let's toe heel our feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Windshield wiper both knees side to side. Little reset before we head on over to side number 2. Let's see if I remember everything. Okay, knees up to the air, feet back underneath your knees in a way that's supportive. We'll grab that left knee, hugging it in towards our chest. We're gonna flex our left toes, ankle, point the left toes away, flex our ankle, point toes away, flex ankle, and point. One more time, flex and point. Draw some circles in the air with that big toe one direction, and then the other. And then write out your name in cursive or your phone number, your email password, whatever you want. Getting some weird wiggle jiggle side to side into our toes. Good work. Yeah, feel those shins light up with all that. Cool. Leaving our ankle work, we'll hug our knee in towards our chest and hug it towards the midline of our body, so a couple degrees over to the right side. Then hug the knee over towards our armpit, over to the left side of our body. Swooping it across 10 degrees or so, 15 degrees to mid-center of the body. Hug that knee in, and then hug it over towards our armpit. One more time towards the center of our body, towards our armpit. Then towards the center of our body, we're going to scoop it all the way across us, letting both knees fall to the right side. Left shoulder tries to stay heavy on the ground as much as possible. And then we'll bring our knees through center, right foot on the earth, right knee up to the sky. Our left knee will let fall out towards the side as much as it can, maybe supporting it with our left hand or letting it dangle in the air out to the left side. Oh. Cool. And then we'll bring our knee back in line with our left hip socket. Grasp will go to behind the left thigh, and we're going to open and close that knee. Oh, so many times. Open and close. Open and close. One more time, opening it and closing it. And then extending the leg long again. We'll hold it there a little bit longer. You can change where your hands are. Again, doesn't need to be full extension of the leg. Just to some point that we feel a stretch in the back of the left leg. Yes, good job, team. Feel free to wiggle in whatever way makes sense to you. Up next, we're gonna come to that upside down lunge or half a happy baby. So our grasp can be behind your left thigh if it's not there already. Squeeze the left thigh into our chest, keeping our left foot up towards the sky. Right leg extends long if you want, or right sole stays on the earth. You can chain your grasp to hold your left foot here, or left ankle, somewhere where we're pulling this left knee down in towards our left armpit, left side of the rib cage. Woofda. Good work. Our next stop is figure 4. So taking our left ankle, crossing it onto our right thigh, hanging out here in a restorative way, or grabbing your right thigh, pulling it in towards your chest to intensify the stretch. Maybe rocking side to side. Maybe grabbing that right shin instead of the right thigh. Maybe finding stillness or movement. Getting our arms out of the way, we'll cross our left thigh over our right thigh even tighter, So our knees are stacked or close to it. We could grab those stacked knees and pull them into our chest. Slide our palms down our shins to grab our shins or ankles to pull those in, like we're holding handlebars or something like that. I don't know. All right, letting go of that, we'll uncross our legs, soles of the feet to the earth, knees up to the sky. Walk our feet a little bit wider than hip distance, and we're gonna do that windshield wiper knees left to right again. Both knees to one side and to the other, kind of wringing out our back from that stuff. Then we'll walk our feet back to parallel hip distance apart, maybe a little bit closer to our pelvis. So we can do a couple more glute bridges. So tucking our tailbone under, lifting our pelvis high, and then lowering it back down. Not like Metcon level glute bridges, just mobility, feeling the up and down along our spine as we raise and lower our pelvis. 2 or 3 more times. Whew. Okay, team, hips back to the earth. We'll bring the insides of our feet to touching, open our knees wide like a book, soles of the feet together, inner butterfly on our backs. My butterfly wants to fly away a little bit, so you can find a place that's restful for you. If your feet want to send out farther away from you, that's cool. While we're in our supine butterfly position, let's give ourselves a bear hug with one arm on top of the other, feeling our shoulder blades pulling away from each other. Opening our arms, bear hug with the other arm on top. Opening our arms. This time the right arm will be on bottom for our bear hug. Option to stay here, holding our sides of our body. You can try to grab your shoulders. We could try to cross our arms to eagle arms, so either the backs of our hands are together, or wrapping our arms up like ropes until the palms of our hands can touch. Finding some eagle arm variation here. We can play with raising and lowering our palms along our face, so our elbows are going back and forth, or finding stillness in some sort of twisty arm or bear hug variation. Great. We'll open our arms up to the side and then do that on the other side. So left arm to the bottom, bear hugging ourselves, maybe palms to our shoulders, maybe forearms touch, maybe back the hands touch, or wrapping arms up like total ropes, so our palms are high-fiving. Just kind of wiggling up and down with our elbows and our hands. Oh. Cool. Unwrapping our arms, we'll put our arms straight out to the side like a T, and then we'll bend at our elbows so our fingers are pointing up towards the ceiling. And we're gonna bring our fingertips towards the ground by our head, and then arching up and over our palms towards the ground, kind of by our pelvis. Usually there's a sticking point before we get there. So making nice arcs in the sky with our fingertips, just feeling the shoulder rotation and the limitations of our range of motion. Maybe your backs of the hands come to the ground, maybe not quite. Maybe your palms come to the ground if you've got lots of motion here. Just back and forth a few more times. Maybe your knees have relaxed a little bit farther to the earth. If this leg position doesn't work for you, soles of the feet back to the earth is always a good choice. This time we're gonna bring our hands into our shoulders and we're gonna flap our arms like chickens. So we're just gonna bring our elbows up and down to our side body, feeling our shoulder blades kind of wiggling around on the ground. If you've got lots of room and want to do snow angel arms and have your elbows extended, that's a fine choice too. Okay, leaving our chicken wings, we're gonna climb an imaginary ladder laying on our back. I know, lots of weird shoulder exercises. So we're just pawing one hand over the other in front of our face. So feeling the shoulders moving back and forth as we pull our forearms back and forth in front of us. I don't know how to explain this. It's a PT exercise. It's good for your shoulders and it's funny to do weird things. All right, we're here for just a couple more of these. Oh, cool. Let's close our knees together. Hug our knees into our chest. Make a little cannonball. Rock side to side here. Yeah. And we'll rock all the way to one side. And come to tabletop. Nice and gently. We've been on our backs for a while, so making sure to breathe slowly and move slowly. Woof. In tabletop, our knees are underneath our hips. Our palms are underneath our shoulders. Our fingers are spread wide. It's cat-cow time. You guessed it already. Belly down, gaze up, reversing it. Doming back, gazing towards our pelvis, back and forth. Nice and slow. Coming to a flat back. We'll keep our hips high over our knees. Walk our hands forward for puppy dog. Maybe elbows to the ground, maybe forehead, chin, or chest to the ground. Yes. All right, we'll walk ourselves back up to tabletop. We're gonna do some lunging. So I'd like the right leg forward. I'm just gonna pick mine up and like bring it up to my hands. If you've got some fancier way to get into a lunge, cool. My back knees, left knee is on the ground. I'm gonna try to slide it back a little bit farther. And we're gonna hang out for like a while in lunge. There's a lot of lunge options. Let me get my stopwatch going so I make sure we're the same amount. If you like your hands framing your front foot, that's cool. If you like them inside your front foot, that's cool. If you want to be upright, you can. If you want to be propped up with your hand on a water bottle, great. Thinking with our back knee about having our weight as much as possible on the like end of our femur, like the just above our knee on our thigh. You know, it's not quite there, but I just don't want your too much weight on the center of your kneecap here. Putting a pillow under it if it feels not so great is always a good choice. Trying to let our hips sink towards the ground as much as possible. Maybe letting our head and neck relax wherever we are. We're here for a bit longer, so if you have some other adjustment you want to make or be in a slightly different variation, or lower down to your forearms, or tent up to your fingertips, or work on being comfortable being uncomfortable, which probably is the best lesson we can learn here tonight. Okay, athletes, we're gonna keep our left leg behind us and our right leg forward, but we're gonna take our pelvis and nice and gently send it back until our pelvis is stacked over our left knee. So our right leg's extended in front of us, and we're half kneeling on our back left knee, forward folding here any amount. This is half splits, so I mean, if you've got a full splits too, we can extend ourselves farther into it. But generally, this is where most of us are. Yeah. Feeling a stretch in the back of the right leg here. Nice work. Still breathing. Keeping our tension out of our head, neck, and shoulders as much as possible. Beautiful. Okay, team. We're gonna come back to tabletop between sides. So however you want to get there, gathering yourselves together onto all fours. Side to side variation of cat cow. Just wiggling right shoulder and right hip together, left shoulder and left hip together. And then maybe like a cement mixer sort of jump rope with our spine. I don't know, whatever that is. A cat cow in all directions, spinning it around in one way and then in the other. Nice job, team. Okay, we got a lunge on the other side. So finding stillness, we'll take our left foot, bring it on forward, lunging with the left foot forward. Right knee on the ground behind us. Again, lots of choices, and the two sides don't have to look the same. So if you decide hands on either side of the front foot works better, or hands inside works better, all good. Generally, we're at slightly different levels of mobility on the two sides. So just pushing to wherever the edge is for this side, right? Just like the first side, it's a super long hold on the second side. So if you decide you need to sneak a pillow underneath your back knee or change your setup, find a place that works for you. Okay, team. Nice and gently, we'll send our hips back over our back knee. Maybe adjusting where our front leg is, left leg extended long or close to straight, forward folding over it any amount for a half splits variation here, or full splits if that's in your wheelhouse. Lovely work, team. Back to tabletop. One more time. Ugh. Nice and gentle and slow, getting ourselves tabletop for our final pose, the inimitable King Frog. So for King Frog, from tabletop, we're gonna walk our knee out to the side and then the other knee out to the side. First knee a little bit farther, second knee a little bit farther. Just slowly walking those knees farther and farther until we can be on the insides of our knees. So our inside edge of the feet is on the earth, toes pointing out to the side. You can come down to your forearms or a pillow here. To intensify the stretch, we think about sending our butt back towards our heels. Ooh. Or our knees farther and farther apart, so our thighs come closer to the ground. If we're in a place that's a little too spicy, we can obviously do the opposite, squeezing our knees close together. That's a little bit harder, or sending our hips away from our heels to back off a little bit. our last long hold, so we'll be here for a while. If it's just not at all the pose for you, we can certainly flip over and do it on our back in a gentler way where gravity's not quite so aggressive. Otherwise, staying in our frog, breathing through. We're close to the end of this pose, so maybe you want to just make it a little extra spicy and send your hips just a little bit farther back towards your heels. Or maybe you're great where you are. That's cool too. Just a few more breaths here. And we'll next all meet up on our backs. I like to get out of frog by sort of army crawling myself forward until I can flop onto my belly. And then letting my legs come together behind you. There's some other way that works for you, that's fine too. Eventually we'll roll onto our backs. Then hug your knees into our chest. Taking your time. Rock gently side to side. Once we're there. Nice and slow. And the next time our knees are over to the right side, we can let them fall all the way there. Gaze over our left shoulder, spinal twist. And then looking up at the ceiling, hugging your knees in through the center of our body and then over to the left side, twisting to look over the right shoulder. And then back to the middle one more time. Nice squeeze of the knees. Sending our legs long for our final resting pose. Definitely welcome to put a pillow under your knees or keep your feet on the ground. Maybe tuck our shoulders together, shoulder blades behind us again. Eyes can flutter shut or stay open. Just finding some place where we don't have to do much and can just have a moment. Deepening your inhales and exhales. Nice, big, slow belly breaths. Gently bringing movement back by wiggling our fingers and our toes, maybe nodding head side to side. As you're ready, we'll curl on over into fetal position on one side of our body. Nice slow inhale and exhale here. Then using the strength of our arms, we'll push ourselves up to seated for the end of the class.